so I didn't realize that it was it was on loop the one song. I'm almost ready. Are you ready? All right. Actually, I might not be as ready as I thought. Okay, I think I'm ready. All right, and I need to move a few more things around. Probably won't be able to stay for longer. Oh, thank you. All right, let me see what I can do. And all right, I think I need to move everything onto the other side of where I just put it. Oh no, yeah, I goofed. Shoot. Okay. 1 second. I swear I'm a professional. Super, just totally professional, like for reals. Oh my gosh. All right. I think I'm ready now. Yeah. All right. And 3, 2. Okay, there. Hi! I'm Odyssey of Odyssey Eurobeat, and it's great to have you here. Thank you for the headpats. If we have not met, I am Odyssey. I've also gone under Ken Blash, short for Kendra, Eurobeat Brony, DNA Team, Stebbins. I've contributed to Magic Hammer as well. And my work has been featured in Super Eurobeat, Initial D, DDR, Matar Convi Shoujo, Rolling Stone, and much, much more. I suppose I should be adding, I should just say multiple VTubers now. But hello, how is everybody? How are you? Also, if my lighting and such looks a little different, it's because it's a little different. Wow, 65 stream streak. Let's go, gamer. Thank you so much for that. I am reducing how many programs I'm running at the same time as Bitwig, so it will run smoother. So, I'll look a little bit simpler, shall we say. Come on now, aren't I still cute? Am I still pretty? I'm being a goofy, a big silly. And I hope you're all doing well. How are you, actually? Oh, thank you for that, Bats. No makeup? Wait. That's true of me behind the camera, and well, that's not necessarily true. I'm wearing some pretty matte eyeliner. Like, look at that. That is eyeliner, my friends. There's nothing simple about. I don't know about that. Sometimes I just like to do things simply. Hello, Ginger Bottle. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well today. How is everybody? I hope you are all doing fantastically. Doing fairly well. Had my post-surgery follow-up appointment today and things are looking good. Good. You're not pretty. You're good. Thank you, Pixie. You were at the gym earlier. That's nice. How'd that go? I actually spent a chunk of today looking into self-defense courses and training in the area, and I found a nice one. I like to be simple too. Sometimes I simply just have to. Okay. I see we're bringing out everyone's Riz game. All right. I shan't deny it. Especially when it's coming from such cuties. We're really parasocial today. Woo! Thank you for that, Bats. Chat. Today is more Eurobeat. But I'm in an interesting predicament. Taiga! Hello, darling. Hello. Oh my gosh, hang on. How are you doing, darling? It is so good to have you. Thank you so much for the follow. let me do my usual thing. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I am Odyssey of Odyssey Eurobeat, and my music has been featured in Super Eurobeat, Initial D, DDR, Matar, Konabi Shoujo, Rolling Stone, and much, much more. Can we get some serious love in the chat for the one, the only, Taiga? Yeah, it's good to see you. Eurobeat, right. So right now, a lot of my work is still wrapped up in a couple of things. I have a few sketches of some originals, less things that I've been fleshing out, and more like just little sketches that I might flesh out later, you know? And what I'm thinking of doing today is going over some of those, showing what I did for each of them, and what I'm trying to explore, as well as taking your questions And diving in. Mechanics! Bro, you can't keep doing this. $30, my gosh. Thank you so much for that. Can we get some serious love in the chat for Mechanics for doing it? You've been doing this lately. Okay. I'm not gonna ask it this time because every time I've asked, you've affirmed, but thank you. And I should also crack open the wheel since that does get us 3 spins. Hold on, wait. Ginger Bottle, what are you doing? What are you doing? You see what you do? Bless and thank you so much, Mechanics. Genuinely. I gotta stop, that is true, but I'm responsible. Good. As long as you're being good to yourself. Like, memes and jokes aside, as long as you're still taking care of your needs and things like that. Thank you so much for your continued generosity. That is incredible. Let me go ahead and update the thing and then we'll spin the wheel. That is 3 spins, yeah? All right, so we're gonna set that to the next goal. And here's the wheel. And it is time for spin. All right. So 3 of these, right? All right. And the cool thing is it jots it down in the little thing. So 1, done. 2. Oh, okay. I have an idea for that one. All right. We'll do all this and then we'll dive into music production stuff. Okay. So, you'll be choosing my profile picture and then we'll vote on an outfit as well. And then I'll do 2 minutes with the mic off. Okay, so profile picture. What should my profile picture be? This will be on Twitter and Discord. Little Princess from Guardian Tales. I have no idea who that character is. Okay. Guardian Tales. Little Princess. Oh. Huh. Interesting. Okay. That doesn't seem too bad. Let's do image address. Okay. I think that's doable. And after all, since you did contribute, I suppose there is that to account for. All right, next one is Avatar. And chat, I would like to open something up to you. I am interested in staying in live 2D. So I'll throw in an incentive. I'm gonna include in the poll today. Let's see, we're gonna do poll. Boop. I'll throw in a few options, and one of them will be one that I don't think you're expecting. Let's see. Right, now run that for 3 minutes. No, I'll do it for the 2 minutes, and then I'll be on mute for that. Starting now.
You're such a good girl.
And the results are in. Looks like 3D Gothacy. Been a minute since we brought that model out, huh? All right, then I will go ahead and bring that one out. Also, we have another 10 from Mechanics, so that means another quick spin. Thank you again, Mechanics, for that. Well, hold on. Yeah, you're gonna have a little look under the hood for what I gotta do. All right, and back to the wheel. Let's go! This will be the last one, and then we need to get to it. Oh, Lord, no. Do we have to? Fine. All right. Let's go ahead and write. Let's go ahead and write that tweet. We do that one. What do you mean that one? Also, I need to switch to Gothacy, right? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is this real quick. What do you mean that one? What is that one? It's no use. It can't be helped. I guess I've got to use that. All right, I will be right back. Boop. Okay, and then it's a Gothacy, yeah? Been a hot minute. I haven't, it's not that I've disliked Gothacy so much as like I've been feeling the Strawberry Girl outfit so much more, but who am I to deny a request? All right. Oh, let me get the leap motion going too now that I think about it. Okay, this will be a little bit tricky since, actually, I don't think I'm gonna do the leap motion this time. Just because, Faint of Art, thank you so much for, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. It is great to have you here. I am changing existences and dimensions for a moment. Let me... Boop. Hi. Hello. Okay, it does kind of miss something without the tracking, so... All right. All right, let me scooch that over then. And now I have hands. Hello. Hello, hi, hello, hello. Okay, and let me make sure that my, this is in place. There we go. You saw nothing. Immersion? Immersion? I hardly even know. Oh, thank you, Faint. All right, so, the tweet, right. Thank you for that, Bats. Oh my gosh, Mechanics. Jiminy. Okay, my Sigma... Deflated Eagles, why you gotta do me like this? What? Why you gotta do me like this? I am just a cute VTuber and I am here to... Ah! Thank you so much for the 100 bits, B7. Much appreciated. I do have hands. Definitely worth staying to see a goth. All right, trying to select the... Okay. Not letting me actually select text. Okay. So what I have so far is I'm a cute V-tuber and I'm here to... Thank you for the 100 bits, Latent. I'm just a cute V-tuber and I'm here to say, my Sigma darling, please let me be your alpha girl. Yes, quote. My brain is all over the place. I'm sorry. Oh! Oh yeah, this did come up. Yeah. Okay, can I just say, you did such a good job covering this. Like, you absolutely blessed. You absolutely blessed me to that I could hear you like singing this, Taiga. Please, at any point, if you want to cover other stuff, I can spot you instrumentals because like that needs to be a thing. Yeah, on a pretty recent stream, if I remember right, it was this song. All right. What was I gonna do? Right, the tweet. I am just a cute V-tuber, and I'm here to say. Oh no, it was like a on-stream kind of thing. Yeah. I'm sorry. When I just realized when I said cover, like, okay, not like words are failing me. Oh, well, there you go. Okay, I was wrong twice. Thank you. Direct hit. Goodness. Okay. All right. So let me show you all the tweet in progress. Progress, if you will. Oh, it's still on Pata mode. Okay. I'm just. This is terrible. Okay, ever since that one stream, ever since that one time, y'all had me saying Skibidi. Like Skibidi Alpha, whatever. Stop it. Just kidding. Take care, Quill. Thank you so much for coming. Can I sing? Yes, I've sung on most of my music releases. Actually, Ginger Bottle, are you not? Have you heard my work before, my music? Okay. Ow. Thank you for the 100 additional bits. Can that get off my head, please? No Skibidi, dang it. What? Why am I getting punished for that? Y'all are the ones asking. Anyhow, all right. Okay, I need an emote for this. Think of that, Pats. I think I'm just gonna do like a random sparkle emoji. Destiny, yes. That's what you that's what you come into. What is, okay. Oh, I should just use this. Okay. Please, thank you. Nature, I think they include stars in that. Yeah, we'll just do that. I think it needs to be a wolf. Oh no. Pharaoh, why? Also, yes. I almost want to add, no. I will cater to your requests. True Skibidi. Okay. All right. All right, let's go ahead and put that away. And now, again, thank you so much to Mechanics for your generosity and contributions. That is much appreciated. And by the way, thank you to Agent B7, Latent Logic, Mig Welder, and B7 again for the bits. All right, so I have withheld Eurobeat from you for long enough. Let us get into it. And by the way, I can still take questions, comments, and Rex Redemptions as we get into the actual projects. By the way, in this particular stream, if you thank you so much for the headpads. You shall come back with another 30. Thank you for goodness. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is put this over here. I'm gonna change the category to music. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you some of the sketches that I have. And then if there's a question about it or how I did a certain thing or just how is this made, then we can do that. Because right now, there aren't a lot of projects that I can really work on. Just listen to the song I sent in music in the Discord server. I'll think of that, Pats. Oh, hold on. Let's see. I will confess that I don't always check every channel of the server right away. Let me take a look. Doop. Let me see. I don't think I see it. I'll need to poke around a little bit. But yeah, for this, I'm just gonna kind of show you just the little things in my toy box, you know? All right, and with that in mind, let's commence the clowning. All right, activate audio engine. This might lag me out for a second because it's fairly processing heavy. I mean, I do check on it for security issues, like if something's going on or things like that, but, you know, like, I don't know, I don't always take the time to check the content. No worries, Ginger. You don't need to repost it. Thank you, though. Very kind. So this one, I call it logic-like approach because, like, I recently went back through a couple of my old projects in Logic Pro in order, for a couple of things of client work, and I realized I did things so differently back then. Logic got the ability to use like you can get a drum machine instrument like what's behind my head here. But I used to not do that. I used to put my drums in like this, and what it's allowed me to do is mix them a bit differently. It's still very rough. I'll show you what I have now. After I get my headphones on, I just realized I don't have those on. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Right here. Okay. How loud is that in my headphones? That's all I have for that. But just by doing that differently, let's see. I just learned that Sigma means that you're 1 in 6 countries as of last week. So someone calling them... Oh, I did not know that, Timber. I always thought that it was based on the weird... I actually don't understand it very well. You have an alt account. Not the kind of thing that I would shout in a chat. Thank you, Tyga. So here's what I have for the brasses. I have just kind of this lead. And the cool thing is this is just from the Gamma Hainam pack. I did a little bit of adjustments on the amplifier, but everything else is basically just straight of that. Synth 1 is free. This pack is free, and it's got some pretty good patches. I think Daryl used Solve, which is like a contact library for Eurobeat, and this for one of the tracks for Project Melody, if I remember right. And then I have the JD800 one. That adds a lot of texture. You hear how chunky that is? And then I think I have that up in a lower octave. I'm gonna turn off the saturator because it's a little bit too distorted for me. There we go. Yeah. I think this one's the octave up. And the cool thing is when you have all three of these like this, it takes the same line, it thickens the absolute heck out of it. The only catch is it sounds a little funky on its own. This is basically just the same instrument, pitched up and down a little bit, right? But then you add a few other elements here. It's a little bit more percussive, right? And then I think I have that pitched down. Yeah, down. So then altogether you have this very chunky, percussive kind of brass. And then, keeping in line with how I used to do things back in Logic Pro, I actually went back to using a sample for the bass instead of using FM synth. I don't know what it is about doing that. Well, thank you. I wouldn't say that I'm smart so much as I've done this long enough to where, like, I remember which things work best. I've been making Eurobeat and, like, posting music to the internet for about 20 years now. So... this is where so many people discover that I'm just ancient. But yeah, no, like, I brought back the sample bass that I used to use a lot. Anaheim Rose, thank you so much for 15 months of subscribing. Can we get some love in the chat for Anaheim Rose? Please enjoy your emotes. You're so bad to being part of the Oddities community for a year and 3 months. It has been a hot minute. I hope you've been well. Ancient is inaccurate. You simply age like a fine wine. See, now that we're talking about age and wine, I just imagine a certain space cockroach lady, which is always a good thing. So thank you. Yeah, just a sample. Delightfully bouncy, as a lot of things should be. But I've done some more modern EQ techniques on it, where I've kind of carved out some of the mids here. add a little transient control, and I've used this wave folder. So this part of the Melda stuff, this kind of makes it edgy. It's somewhere between like distortion and FM synth. So I'm kind of cheating a little bit. If I turn that off, here's what it sounds like. I'm sure you've heard this bass from me before. I turn it on and I can't hear a difference. So usually what I do is I think I was working with it before and I forgot to do my thing in here. It makes it sound way a lot gooder, okay? So what I usually do, and I'll even do this with a lot of modern Eurobeat bass, is I'll put the drive up usually around about 6 decibels. So I'll kind of adjust it live. Okay, no, yes. You hear what it's doing to that, right? Like you hear that it's kind of sounding, it almost sounds like it is sort of similar to FM synthesis, right? It's starting to sound more like a Genesis kind of bass, right? So what I'll usually do is I'll put it just enough to where it starts to flavor it. Maybe right about there. And usually this knob is at 100. So the problem is when you put it up too high, it starts to sound like a fretless bass, which is not something that I tend to hear a lot of in Eurobeat. So I'm going to put it down closer to like 6. And I'm going to put it to about 50% wet dry. Because now it's got some of that new sort of warmth, that little bit in the mids that it didn't have before, but now it's also still got a lot of its original qualities. I like that. Character, I know, it just kind of distorts it a little bit, I found. Symmetry. I don't putz around with symmetry too much. Usually in either direction, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. Saturation, compression, all that. Drums is where, processing the drums is where I got a lot more interesting. This is actually not BD Delta. This is, it's just a dubstep kick. Because the dubstep kicks are quick in, quick out. And it's easier to work with the transient that way. So now we have... That is crispity, crunchity, what the heckity, you know? I kind of... Here it is without any EQ. This is Bitwig Studio. Bitwig Studio is like if Logic Pro and Ableton made sweet, sweet romantic love and decided to raise the resulting baby together. And yeah, without EQ, a little bit high for a kick, isn't it? So we've brought up the low ends and we pull out 602 hertz, kind of upper mids for what you want in a kick. Boosting a little bit around 1.5, and then getting closer to 12, we start rolling off the highs. Other than that, I'm not doing much to the kick at all. We'll do, some... Here I've actually done nothing. There are no plugins on the closed hats. Because for now, I kind of want to keep it relatively simple. A little too much of that, actually. Bring in the snare a little bit. Very flammy. And then some crashes. I haven't added too many other drums besides that. Offbeats is where it gets interesting. I used to use a lot of massive for all of my synths. So this one, DJ Command used to have a little tutorial on the Eurobeat Union website, like the first iteration back when it was a blog on Naver. And kind of showing how each layer was introduced. I don't remember all of it. This is not that tutorial, but I remembered some of the basics. I did a little bit with the volume, velocity, and I kind of adjusted the envelope a little bit more to my liking. I also went ahead and added a little bit of, oh, I need to put that on there too. I'm glad I saw that. 24. Yeah, it keeps it stabby, chunky. You'll like, the more that, you'll hear me use certain words in going over some of these, and I find that those are the things that I value. What the heck? That I value in your production. Vera, hello! How you doing, Pop? I hope you're doing very well today. Work is chill today, just dragging. Also, the fact that you use Massive makes me so happy, because I use it too. Got it when both that and FMA. So I used to use Massive a lot more. And the thing is, there's some sounds from back then that I actually kind of miss. So I've been going back every so often. I did this around Toho Fest too, when I was going back in there and kind of making performance versions. I'm like, I miss when I used to use that. I used to be more orchestral. I used to use more Massive. And there's stuff from that that I miss. And if I bring that back in the here and now, I could do it better. And the other one, this is more of a thing that I do now. Same kind of concept. Yeah, a few voices of some detuned saws, gently detuned. Teeny tiny little, I think it's that bats. Teeny tiny little bump on the pitch super early on. If you give it too much decay, then it never gets there. But just that little bit is enough. Having it go up about 1 as well. Like, you could theoretically use an instrument like this for a Eurobeat, a Eurobeat lead. I wouldn't say Eurobeat brass, but, you know, you put the two together and... See? And then all together, just with these 4 layers, we get this much. So I'm not sure where I'm going to go with that one yet, but I wanted to kind of walk through that a bit, just because I've been diving into the way I used to sound and the way I sound now and trying to see what I can learn between the two. Weird question. I swear it relates. Did any of you ever read, like, some of the Garfield anthologies where, like, old Garfield and current Garfield would meet? What did I say about Bitwig? That it's like Ableton and another doll had a baby. Yeah, it's Logic Pro and Ableton. Okay, so Jim Davis likes to draw current Garfield meeting old school Garfield because it's kind of a way that for Jim to demonstrate that he's grown artistically over the years, despite the fact that I think he uses templates nowadays. But for a little while, he used to Sonic Generations. You know what? Actually, yeah, that's a better example. That's a less disappointing example. Let's go with that. Getting the two to exist alongside each other gives a sense of not just where you've come from, but what you can still learn from the past. That's kind of what I was doing here. I'm actually going to jump to this one next. I call it Hey Say Heights because it reminds me, there's a song that I was trying to replicate. This I actually think I shared a link to in my server in production. The thing was, I was trying to get it to sound like, what's the song title? Where is it? Where to go? That's not it. How far back was this? On the 9th. Has to be before all this. Right. I was trying to get it to sound like Another Day by Maggie May. Think of that, pets, by the way. And here's what this one sounds like. Oops. Something's not right. Okay, there we go. One of the modulations was just funky. That's all I really have. But with this, I wanted, let me see if I can pull up the song. Another Day. That's in the Maharaja series, right? And I can't sort by name. Why can't I sort by name? Oh, it's sorted by artist. Okay, Maggie. Macho, Margaret, Mario, Macho Gang. What? Oh, it wasn't in Maharaja. It was just in Super Eurobeat, wasn't it? Another day. Oh, that was it. Wow. Okay. Let me play it a little bit. Okay. And you kind of hear the angle that I'm going for. It's not very modern. Not by a long shot. It's not this like hyper fast, aggressive. It's a bit more disco, a bit more danceable, you know? And this is kind of my attempt to recreate some of that energy. Maybe not sound for sound, but a similar feeling. So for this, I tried to avoid using the same brass as I always do. In fact, this one's basically just general MIDI. It's literally just sound canvas with a little bit of chorus on it. Oh yeah, and a chord. I forgot that, I think this is one from the Newfield pack. Okay, that little airy sound in the beginning, I love it because it reminds me so much of like the early Italo disco, like later high energy tracks, where you could hear like little whisper, the little air sound, especially since they would do like flutish kind of leads, you know, or almost more like a calliope or something. Then this, I think it's a custom thing. Come on now, sometime this year, please. There we go. Yeah, it's a very simple saw, but it still has that signature like pluck, that signature chunky like pitch thing at the beginning. Couple of layers of PG8X is the same thing. And then, so yeah, altogether that does. The bass here had to be a sample because I don't know how to get this exact sound in FM yet. I could probably replicate it to some extent without wavefolder. I want a little bit of bite, a little bit of ar, a little bit of teeth. All right, take care, Anaheim. Thank you so much for popping in. Can we get some love in the chat? Please sleep well. And then the drums. This is basically just a Rye 30 based drum kit with some 909 stuff in it. With a very pronounced rim shot sample. This is just, what did I do for this? Oh, yeah, this is literally just like, it's slightly better than general MIDI, but it's like, a bit late to reply, but general MIDI, how good of a challenge would it be to make a Eurobeat track with only general wavetable MIDI? That's how I started. That is unironically how I started. And there's ways to go about it. I guess the thing is, general MIDI was not made with specific sound design in mind. It was generally made as a way to communicate existing music. Not to fine-tune, produce it very much. You had to kind of keep it restrained so it would play similarly across different machines, right? That is a good question, though. I feel like it'd be up there with like the sound font challenge that that Violet and I did a while back. I think it's just like a rave piano. So this one actually, I think it's just string pads. And then, what's this one? Right, it's the same string pad on a different synth altogether. This is based on a synth that I think my mom actually had it. So I just kind of, I grew up playing this instrument. And I'm bringing it into tracks like this now to get these kind of still pretty epic sounding faux strings, you know? And then, what is this one? Oh, this is bells. Like a music box kind of thing. There we go. And then all together, we have this. Right. So that's kind of the sketch that I have here. I'm going to go ahead and save since I did putter around a little bit. General MIDI is the direct ancestor of PC speaker sequencing. Take the limited sounds of computer. Exactly. So, MIDI, you run into the limitations of the sounds, but that does also kind of give the edges of your canvas, you know? So that would be an interesting one. Let's do Control Potion next. Because this is a failed attempt by me to replicate the DJ command formula. Command, Control, Potion, formula. I am burdened with immense wit. But nevertheless, yeah, once this is loaded, I still think I have something interesting here. It may not be like my absolute favorite producer ever, but I think there's something interesting here. Come on now. Be a dear, please. Oh, hydrate. Did I miss that hydrate earlier? Let me do that. Ah. All right, here's what this one sounds like. Yeah, that's that. Brass here. I use a lot of the, so this is the JD, this one here is a JD 800. And then I think these three are Serum presets that I made. Not very Eurobeat-ish. It's basically just detuned saws here with not a lot of release. Once it opens sometime this year. Here we go. Yeah, it's even got like a little bit of FM in there. It's dirty. A little bit of white noise. But the structure is still the same. If we get rid of this envelope, then it would throw off a lot of how it's supposed to sound. This is closer to like I don't know, when a lot of folks that make really cool dance music in other genres try Eurobeat, this is the kind of sound that I tend to hear them make. If I want to make this more like a traditional Eurobeat brass, I'd put this up to more like maybe 80. But because I don't want that actually, and I think this one's just a pitch up. No, it's different. Actually, this one's almost exactly, it's just this, almost. You can hear that zappy kind of sound, and that's doing 9/10 of the work there. What's this one again? Oh, this one is from, yeah, this is from the Akira, the Akira Eurobeat library. Super good. Like, when, for producers that are looking for, like, I just want that sound from this producer, Akira is quite easily the closest thing we have, short of, like, the Newfield pack. There are some issues that I have with it. A lot of the releases are up really high, and a lot of the multi-parts, you gotta dive in. Like, I had to go in here, turn off the lag for pitch bend, and then, turn off the fade in, because I tend to just do that on my own, to fade in like little modulation things. Still, that's a small price to pay to have this. It's basically the lead from 100 by Dave Rogers. 100, I should say. And then this one, what is this? Oh, these are all just Serum. So this one actually gets a little bit more more room to not be start and stop. This one, you can kind of hear that's going on a little longer. It's still pretty choppy, but I think the releases on those is higher. This one, synth one. This one's a DJ Command sample from, I think it's the arcade pack. Doing a good bit of heavy lifting there. And then a couple of PG8Xs. And then we have the brass. The takeaway is to get one sound that'll work well enough on its own. And then do that a bunch of times until you have big, meaty brass. Bass, this is pretty straightforward. I think it's just yeah, it's just the usual bass one, like the wood bass preset with some wave folder on it. A little bit of teeth. Drums. I think this one's from the Dylan James pack, if I remember right. This is the drum kit that I used on Beacon for Yumiko VT. Heard you can't get the arcade collection anymore. By the way, I'm listening to this while at work. Audio only, but still vibing. No worries. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I did not know that I hope they bring it back. The arcade pack was fantastic. I absolutely adore that thing. Still use it to this day, basically. This is just a Vengeance loop. Just kind of fills it in a little bit, you know? So this is where things get interesting. Hello, Kurohime. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well today. What was I about to get into? So this is, I call it Rocky Joe art because it reminds me of the little opening arpeggio in Go Rocky Joe. You won a big ass Pac-Man plushie yesterday. Good on you. Good job. Happy for you. What you gonna do with it? All right. So this one, it just has an arpeggiator. I'm gonna turn off the tool actually. If I don't have the arpeggiator on, it does this. This already has a randomizer on it, but if I turn on the arpeggiator, more iterations will have it do more random. And I like that. So with that, I've decided to have the panning match, or at least be as random. It gives that sense of being all over the place, you know? It's the cue that I'm taking from watching Avanil's production work, because she loves to do all kinds of variety and like, what if I do this? What if I do that? What if I let fate decide what the note is here? And try and get a little bit more spontaneous. Offbeats. What do I have here? Okay, silent one. Whoa. There's a little bit of attack on that. Wow. What do I have for the other one? Okay, that one's handling the like initial attack, and then this one's kind of filling it in. So that's got character. I like that. Turn off the chorus though. I think it's got a little bit of chorus in it anyway. Yeah, Diablo. Baby, can't you see on the Diablo, man? Love it, love it, love it. I'm gonna turn off the choruses in these, though, because we already have a chorus. There. Orchestra. So here, okay. Yeah, I started using the BBC Symphony Orchestra plugin for this. So here's what I have for the orchestra. All of it. I should probably turn off the side chaining. It's not perfect, but I like the idea of bringing back these layers. I'm not super happy with this line, but it is there for that. Yeah, that's what I've been trying, because I usually do other forms of strings, but I wanted like an actual orchestra. Bells, okay, so we have Speldosa. Oops, sorry. SweetTuber, hello, yes, as per request. How you doing, darling? What is this one? Right, Digibells. And then, of course, you've heard this one if you've listened to Eurobeat from the 1990s. Fantasia JV. Only the 1080, baby. Only the 1080. Altogether, the bells sound like this. And I'm noticing that a lot of Eurobeat that I've been listening to, I've been hearing more of the orchestra hits. And I used to use orchestra hits, and I do now more than ever, but I used to use them differently. Without the brass, it all sounds like this. And then, of course, with the brass, it sounds like this. So, what I'm trying to do with this is kind of, except for the brass, I'm trying to get a lot out of a little. Because this is very full sounding, isn't it? And that's something that I really like about DJ Command's production. So I'm trying to do that here. Powerlicious. So, when we were considering leaning more into Gyaru, which I still am, not gonna lie, I started looking into some of the music that they would dance patapata to, because Gyaru culture and patapata are very much interconnected. And I started listening for little things that I didn't otherwise notice. And this is basically just me trying to replicate some of that feeling. Not necessarily that sound directly. Hello, Tangent. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well today. I know that today's stream is not exactly the most productive. But I don't know. I guess I just like showing how I do stuff. I know that there are aspiring producers in the community, and I want to answer stuff. I want to be a fairly open book. Thank you for that, Bats. Okay. Oh yeah, this one had Diva. This one has like an ARP going, if I'm not mistaken. I usually don't use like this kind of simple sounding ARP. But I just love how this one sounded so specifically that I'm like, you know what? I'm using it. And altogether it sounds like this. I know, I wanted something simpler. No? So for this, what was I doing here? And then PG at X, that gives it the chunk. And then what was this one doing? I guess that's just a thickener. This one detunes it a little bit to keep it safe, and then... Yeah, this is that brass. Like, one of the ones at Roger Studios, ABC, back in the day. I think that adds a little bit here to give it that legitimate sounding kind of... Okay, the little jumps at the end there, right here, that, for some reason, I've noticed when Brat Sinclair was still at AB... Oh, got ourselves the bot. When Brad Sinclair was still at ABC, he used to do the jumps like that often. And I think even brought some of that to like early Delta tracks too. Okay, so that's that part. Bass. What am I doing here? Fairly unaffected, actually. Yeah, fairly simple. This one's the beacon drums again. I think instead of a side stick, it's a cowbell. Yeah. This is the offbeats. What am I doing here? Fairly simple sound here. Yeah, not very detuned. Oops, how do I undo that? Oops. Yeah. Close enough. Yeah, this is just the same one pitched up. And then what's this? Oh, this one. Okay, so the top two are for the attack, and then this one's for the body. So you put it all together. Chop, 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 chop. It's not very percussive, but I think because it kind of just fills in the spaces, it does that well enough. It has to have some amount of something on the attack to do that, though. Okay, this is just drum loop. I think this one's just bells. Yeah, I think this one's Fantasia, and the other one should be Fantasia as well. Yeah, it's just pitched down. So this one just sounds like... another M1 piano. One from here, please. It's amazing how much mileage you get out of that. In fact, if I mute the brass, the bells kind of take over a little bit to add the drama, but you hear the piano in the background. It kind of gives it this drive that I quite like. Then we have the art that I showed earlier. This is just pure, gross, grungy, squelchy. Just kind of adds atmosphere. It's like squeezing a laser cat. Like, I don't know, like you're trying to pet it, but your hand goes on a little too tight or something, and just and then I have the strings separated. And then here we go. Yeah, I think other than the EQ, these are the same. I just have them separated for pattern. I think that's... and then here, I think it's just a combination of white noise designs. Some of these are just samples, and then these two... Yeah, Massive Bounce 1 and 3 are ones that I made. This is not one that I made. But this one is. I think what I did here, let's dive into Massive. I just did some envelopes on the high metallic noise oscillator, and then I ran that through a high pass filter. And then white noise fault. I think this one is just the same thing on just the general noise, like just general white noise instead of high noise or bright noise, I think they call it. And then all together, we make a big impact. All right, no worries, Jedi. I thank you so much for popping in. And then that just kind of keeps things going. And then you gotta have toms. You gotta have toms in Eurobeat. Listen to this. That is so Eurobeat. I think I just crapped. Anyway, all together now we have this. I couldn't think of anything witty to follow it up with, and then just... I couldn't think of anything. It's just very, yeah, the toms do so much for it, though. What I found for these is low decay and a very low sustain, but you gotta put it back in the release. I'm gonna mute out the brass again. So, one of the things that I like about this track so far is that it passes my vibe law, in that you must be able to vibe on muting the brass and just vibing. You know, you could just kind of let people dance on this, you know, just... And then you bring in the brass and it's, you know, it's the next part. Actually, as I do my fancy hydrate, remember, how do we do a fancy hydrate, everyone? This is a bubbly, sparkling water strawberry sunset with strawberry, kiwi, pineapple. When in doubt, pinky out. Any drink you have will be that much fancier for it. Cheers. Ah, right. Okay, what's about? Right. So, there's another secret that I kind of weaved into this. Well, not so much a secret. So something that I learned from Laurent Newfield early on was this. Make a song dramatic. Obviously make it danceable, vibeable, all that, but when it comes to like strings and pads and bells, you can give it that drama. Because if I just select a few things here, let's get the bells and the piano and... Actually, even if we get rid of the piano there, and here we go. It's kind of dramatic, isn't it? But then you have all this stuff with the groove in it, and that's where you get more of that Eurobeat feel. All right, and then all together you get this. Well, not this. This. So now you have something that is fun, interesting to dance to, but still has an interesting little emotional poignancy. The last one is not nearly as developed. But I kind of wanted to try my hand at a sketch like the songs you'd hear from Go 2. And I noticed a trend in Go 2's riffs in particular. I'm gonna play it, and then I think I'll get into what I think that is. Honestly, that's the part that's closest to real life. All right, here we go. This is all I have. The brasses sound deceptively simple, because it sounds like it's just kind of one thing. But it's so many layers. So this one sounds very different, right? It's kind of toasty, isn't it? Kind of...
You're such a good girl.
Huh? Where'd that come from? Thank you, but also, huh? Is this your way of telling me that I'm boring but cute? Well, thank you. So this one, okay, so... Oh, it's basically just a bunch of OTT. It's kind of like high. It's kind of up in the higher regions, right? You're a little bit more... Let me show you what I mean. Actually, I think we can demonstrate it here. It tilts up. The line tilts up there. And I like it for that because it kind of adds this warmth to it. It's just that pitched up. And then we have these two. I think this is just my usual synth brass, but with the release way down. So by the way, my own Eurobeat brass, actually, before I get into anything, Eurobeat producers, if you're willing to invest and you're willing to pay for Rolling Cloud, heaven forbid, and you want the Eurobeat brass, like the ABC brass, which made so many songs, it's based on this preset, Mr. Brass on the JD800. It's modified. The original is weird in a lot of ways, but this is the one that they tweak. This is the one that they dive into to make it, oh, my favorite sound like ever. And this is a modified version of that to make it very choppy.
Excuse me? Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy?
Yes, darling? I'm in the middle of something, but what do you need? Sorry. And I think I just have that pitched up. But then you pair it with this one. So Vanilla, if you can get the emulated JD800 to get the Mr. Brass preset and you adjust that, you will have the Eurobeat brass, like the ABC brass, trademark, copyright, register, so much applies to these stores for details, for free. You'd have it. In the same way that you can use system exchange data for from the DX7 to get those sounds into FM8. All right, and then I think I just have these for chunk. All right. And then these are some samples from Delta from the Newfield pack. Not very brassy in their own right until you start playing them. Oh, I think red bats. And then all together, because there's not a lot of chords of variation, it sounds very squished together, doesn't it? Let me go ahead and turn off OTT. Now it's on. So now we have this big, thick layer of one note at a time, basically. So yeah, that's how I did that. Lots of Serum, lots of the JD800. I think the bass is... Oh, okay, so this one I have the actual bass sound. So we have... lots of teeth on this one. And then I have the sub bass separated. Ooh, some of y'all are getting some headphone tests there. But together it sounds like this. Having it be audibly split, like not just the one sound, is not my favorite thing to do, but sometimes it works. There's just the beacon drums again. With the cowbell. And then, what did I do for this? Serum? Oh, right! Okay, so this one I got a little funky, if I remember right. What did I do for this? Punky Bird. I don't remember. I made this, but I don't... It might have been just for this. So what do I have going on here? Saw waves. There's an envelope. Okay, there's an envelope on the filter. That's why it's got that strange sound going. A little bit of tube distortion. So the reason I'm not spending a lot of time on an individual sound is because I want to spend some time kind of going over the general method that I use for making Eurobeat stuff. And then what's this one? Oops. That one's more traditional, just saw-based pluck. Ooh, OTT though. yeah, basically just my usual thing with some OTT on it. And then that's actually kind of nice. Got a little bit of a ring to it with that OTT. And then just with these four, you have... So I noticed with go-to songs in particular, for those who don't know, go-to is a combination of Ace and Fastway, both of SCP Productions. Stefano Castagna Productions, not Secure, Contain, Protect. But I noticed that the riffs are very much like one note at a time, and they stay close to the root of the chord. Like, what's the song? Is that a go-to track? Pretty sure it's either go-to or one of Fastway's. But yeah, then that's how you get this. Oh yeah, also a lot of use of pitch bend. Here we go. As opposed to... So, I say that because I want this VOD to have a lot of value for up-and-coming Eurobeat producers, because I haven't done enough for free for those interested in the Eurobeat world. I need to reinvest in music gear, such as dragging out the JDXi synth and rebuild the guitar collection. I feel like you get a lot of mileage out of the JDXi. How do you like the JDXi, actually? I'm curious. So all of this to say, hello? Is it gonna let me save? Hello? There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna start a new project and close all the rest. No, that's not what I want to do. Close, please. Close. 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 So, the thing that I say next is going to sound mean, but please understand that I say this as a suggestion, as something that I hope can help bring a lot of early producers up to the next step. Because what I'm hearing from a lot of new producers is they'll hear elements of something in a Eurobeat song and they'll replicate it without knowing how it works. And even some more like intermediate to even some advanced producers that I know in the indie scene, they're good, don't get me wrong, but like, and a lot of them will actually like, they'll be better partially by ironing these things out. But one thing that I hear is that they'll emulate something without knowing why it worked. Which is why rule 0 is songwriting. You know, rule number 0 to be really good at Eurobeat production is to write a good song first. And I don't mean that as shades, your song is crap, but like, think about what it is you're doing. Because it'll inform the rest of what you're doing. It'll inform the rest of the song in such a way that, you'll be able to avoid a lot of missteps. Like, they'll get focused on, having the A beat C sound. They'll be focused on having, you know, it sounds like this. You could have the entire Akira sound pack, all the sounds from Newfield, every Eurobeat pack from Eurobeat Union, and even some of the stuff that's been on, like, Vital. And that won't make you legitimate at, like... That's a really bad way to put that. I'm sorry, that is not the word that I'm looking for. Forgive me, I need a second to figure out how to process what I mean by this. There are elements of newer Eurobeat tracks. You can have all the right sounds, but those won't make the song take off. Those won't make a song interesting or compelling. And you're not necessarily going to, if you're trying to emulate something from a past song anyway, if you're going to try to emulate an older sound, an older style, a lot of the fan base will kind of brush it off anyway, because if you're not 50, Italian and male and have a history in high energy and disco, they'll they'll brush you off anyway. They'll find some way. It doesn't really count. It doesn't really work. Forget that. Sorry, at this point I'm just rambling, but I think of that, Bats. I guess what I hear in a lot of very early Eurobeat efforts could use some understanding of a few principles that I notice tend to be lacking. For that, let's make a brass out of a synth that I don't use often enough and will probably fumble through. So I've got my keyboard on my lap. This is not my usual, but I want to make it in this because Vital is free. You can go and grab this synth right now. So I'm gonna grab a couple of voices of unison. Rule number 1 for a Eurobeat brass: get saws. There we go. Recognize that I'm pointing, please. Get saws. This is 1 saw. This is 2 saws. A little too detuned. Let's put it to like 10. Let's do 3. I just got here because Discord doesn't like ping on time. I'm so sorry, Phoenix. I'm glad that you can make it, though. Let's do 4. Kind of hear how that sounds. You can kind of see how the more saws there are, the more you see them dancing around up here. So let's go ahead and adjust how detuned they are. So step 2 is make wide. 1, get saws. 2, make wide a little. Because if you do too wide, it doesn't sound great. If you don't detune at all, it's just a weird saw. If you do a little bit, like maybe 5 to 10%. Oh, let's do 8. We're pretty close. We're pretty close already, aren't we? This is Vital, running as a plugin in Bitwig Studio. So this is pretty close, right? So what I'll hear is a lot of folks will get this far, and they'll rush right into making a riff. So hold on, let's see. Let's recreate Night of Fire real quick. Oops, from here, please. How fast is Night of Fire? I think it's like 152. Let's go ahead and give ourselves just the first half of it, and then. Doesn't quite sound right, does it? The notes are right, but why doesn't it sound like Eurobeat yet? Oh, take care, Oni. Thank you so much for popping in. Have a great rest of your day. So here's where we start diving into it. Envelopes. 1, we need one for the actual note. Right now, the problem is that the release is a little too high, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull that to like here. Which, this is fine. I might do a little bit of sustain. Let's do like 8.85-ish. Let's go ahead and pull this down for funsies. This part isn't necessary, but I like to do it just for a little bit more pronunciation on the attack of it. So this is fine. It's functional, it works. This key right here. This is the one thing that I hear from a lot of like first timers, that they buy packs and presets and all kinds of things to get, which is fine. If you get a pack and a preset, you'll have a brass. But if you want to make your own, if you want to design your own for whatever reason, make sure that it's got these qualities, you know? You pull down the sustain all the way. You pull down the release all the way. And you pull down the decay to about, I'm tempted to say like 32 milliseconds, around there. I would say between 25 and 45. Oh. Let's put it at 35. So, some of what I'm saying has a general assumption of like, you know what an envelope is. It's like an envelope. Why am I mailing a synth? Because once got talking to Marty and Moog from Mighty Car Mods, who were originally musicians, they wanted to make Eurobeat for their car projects. I did not know this. Oh my gosh. Okay. They use the top as a bass reference to their song Raceline, only to turn around and say Eurobeat is more than just car references and turbo noises. Hannah, you've blown my mind. I did not realize that they were gonna do that. I'd love to talk to them about this. Like, wow, okay. Goodness gracious. I'm honored. Okay, wow. How do I keep going? Right. So, we have this second envelope, right? So the first one, we're just using that for making the sound go out, right? So there's an envelope, that's the amplitude. Amplitude is how much of the volume you get. Like, all the way up is 100%. This is not so 100%. This is 0. Attack is how long it takes for a note to start. A short attack means it's just right away. How long will it take to attack, right? If the knob is up, it takes longer to attack. If the knob is down, it's instant. It's faster to instant. Hold, I don't use hold as much. I think that's actually, I'm too familiar with just ADSR, attack, decay, sustain, release. Decay is how much it stays. Like, over time, if we put decay all the way down to 0, all the way down to 0, it's just going to instantly, you know, it'll hit the highest attack point and then just right down to decay. Give it a little bit. By the way, now I'm on break. So earlier you're saying we need to write a good song. I feel like writing a song without being able to do lyrics is kind of redundant. I would sing lyrics and stuff, but I don't like being heard sing. Also, thank you for doing this tutorial right now. Bought the Newfield pack. So, that's a fair point. So, writing a good song is not just the lyrics. Writing a good song is writing the chords and the melodies as well. Songwriting would include things like composing this riff. Maybe on a piano, or maybe just writing down the shapes of these lines on a napkin. Like, just grabbing a napkin and just line, you know, drawing that out. That's songwriting. It's not just lyrics. But then you come to, then you come to the actual production side of things, where I do think a lot of newer producers could stand to reevaluate their time balance. So decay is how long it goes from high to the last held point on sustain. So decay and sustain are kind of tied together. So if you have no sustain but full decay, doesn't mean much. So decay is how long it takes to hit the sustain point. It's how long it goes from here to here. Barely going anywhere. Almost the whole thing. It's still only doing so much. And then you go here. That's about the length of the whole note. Sustain is, So it blows my mind how Eurobeat producers back then only had like 5 days per track and yet brought us glorious music. So a lot of it was presets. A lot of it was they had the sounds ready to go. They just needed to compose something, throw it together, and call it good. Not to say they didn't take their time. They probably still did a lot of good songwriting. But you can also understand why a lot of songs are about burning love, car, baby, fire, desire, tonight, drift, Tokyo. Because, well, you generate enough of those and have it sound fun and unique and interesting, and you got it. Quick sip. But yeah, when you're under that kind of crunch, you lean on the things that help you get it out quickly. Right, so sustain. This is how loud it is when you hold the note. then release is what happens when you let it go. So if you have no release, when I let it go, it's quiet. Nothing happens. If I turn it up, you don't necessarily need to make your own presets. A lot of synths will come with their own. And that is valid. Buying presets can be fine. Just understand that that sometimes you want a little bit more customization. You want a little bit more fine-tuning. And not every synth gives you those parameters. A plugin like Vital definitely does, though. So that's just a little bit of what an envelope is. So this one is attached to the amplitude, or how loud this this oscillator is. We're gonna put one on the pitch. So we're gonna go over here. I think that's the right one. What's going on with that? What's up with the little wheedly thing here? So I'm gonna drag that down to about 24. You hear how chunky it is all of a sudden? Isn't that so much closer? That's way closer. There's some adjusting to do, but that is how you get an actual brassy kind of sound. You have a little bit of a pitch envelope. Too low and it's barely audible. Too high and it sounds funky, like a laser. 35 seconds, 30, 40, that's the sweet spot. I'm going to detune it just a little more. I might do a different riff to demonstrate things. Flex. Yeah, I think Flex uses, Flex has a Eurobeat brass preset as well. I'm gonna see if I can replicate The Race Is Over by Dave Rogers. Let's see. I may have the key wrong. Yeah. So I'll be adjusting the sound based on the riff that we're doing at a given time, because the way you compose a riff affects how you design the sound. I'll get into that in a little bit. Let's do... Yeah, actually that should be fine. Oops. Let's go ahead and speed up the tempo to get it closer. Let's see, let's do... And then... let's go ahead and just... So let's go ahead and plug in some pitch dives as well, because that does happen in Eurobeat too. So I'm going to do it a certain way that will not make sense until I demonstrate a later point. Well, let's do 30 seconds just for our own sake. Because these things are part of why you think about what you're writing. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Right there, and then there. Why in the world would I do a pitch dive after the notes have ended? That seems very foolish, doesn't it? That's because to get it to match more like the original, you gotta turn the release up a little bit. Also, the pitch wheel is affecting nothing. So, I need to go into bend and set that to 12. Oh, the pitch bend isn't mapped to anything. Okay, so that's actually more of an issue of Vital and how it's plugged in here.
Sit down.
Why?
Allow your eyes to meet mine. Good girl.
Why? What? Like, I appreciate it, but look at what we're dealing with here. Come on now, there's time and a place for soft doming, and this ain't it. Seriously, like, I will say that's probably enough while I'm doing Eurobeat stuff, if that's okay. So, I'm running into an issue with my installation of Vital. Is everyone okay if I move to another synth? Just for the sake of demonstration. Because right now, it's not reading the pitch wheel. So it should be doing something like that, like... But because it's not registering that, it's, I need to switch to Serum. Okay, I'm gonna grab one of my usuals. Let's see, semantics, fire. Let's just do my simple brass. So you hear it though. You're starting to hear why. When the release was higher up, you can just barely hear it. Let me go ahead and see if I can finish the rest of the first half of the riff. Okay. I think it was like a 30-second note trill. What would that be? Because there's definitely like a trill of some sort. It's close, but it's not quite there yet. So something else that the release of your brass has an effect on is how short these notes are. Because right now, on sheet music, this would be fine. You know, this full length here, this parameter up here, you know, how long or short it is, this would be fine on paper. But instead of it being all the way what it was before at 1, let's bring it down to 50. See what that does for it. Hold on, here. Here, please. That sounds more like it, doesn't it? You hear why you have to have the chunk at the beginning and a little bit of release at the end for this kind of riff. If you wrote a different kind of riff, then you wouldn't need the tail at the end. You wouldn't need to have a little bit of that, giving it some space for whatever's at the end. You wouldn't need the weight of that sound to be affected by what you're writing. So for this, I might put it closer to 75 than 50. Maybe 65. That's more like it. That's closer. I need a sip. Sorry. So, the kind of riff you write informs the kind of brass you need to make. The kind of, actually, not even brass. Plenty of Eurobeat leads are not brass at all, and that's fine. But for a brassy kind of lead, you want to be able to adjust the release. So no release or very little. Oh, right. I forgot to do the rest. But you hear the effect that that has. So that little trill thing, I don't think I've got it accurate, but the more release I put back, as a matter of fact, now that I'm here, I might make the envelope on the pitch. So hold on, actually have this knob for how much attack there is. Like this is what gives it a little at the very beginning. If I turn this down and gets rid of envelope 2 that's on the pitch, you have this. A sound that once sounded perfect for Eurobeat now sounds like a cheap preset at best. Let's put it to 50%. Even a little bit does so much. Even a little bit does a lot. So I like to have a lot, or at least like an octave. And then you can adjust like what kind of shape this is to your liking. I like to keep it either low or fairly centered. No worries, Vanilla. Thank you so much for popping in. Yeah, this right here, I think just some saws slightly detuned with envelopes on the amplitude and pitch. Actually, before I forget, let's do velocity there. Oh, wait a minute. I think that has some pitch dive stuff that doesn't need to be on there. Yeah, that doesn't need to be there. But that's the thing. If you're doing a lead like this, then that works fine. And that, from what I hear from a lot of new producers, this is the kind of thing that I hear them missing or just short of. And it's not to say that they don't inherently get it. It's just that, like, I guess there's a certain amount of execution on it that struggles. And by the way, this assumes that they want a brass lead. You could have bells. You could have a synth that isn't a brass. You could do the high energy attack thing and use an actual accordion or an actual brass section. I may be mommy, but I'm not your mom. You can do whatever you want in that case. But when you're emulating that traditional style of Eurobeat, you want to fine tune it that way. Now, we have one sound that works well enough just on its own. If you're doing the Odyssey Eurobeat approach, which you don't have to, you could be doing with this, you could be just fine. You could thicken this with a saturator and throw some chorus on it, and that would be all you need. This could be the be all end all of your riff. I like to do a little bit of adjustment with other sounds. I'm gonna grab a free synth called PGA-X. And I'm gonna grab one of my presets. And I'm gonna bring this down here, and it sounds like this. So this is, there's a tiny, this envelope is on the pitch. Envelope 1, there's no attack, there's no sustain, there's a little bit of release, and even less decay. Let me bring that down to 0. It's still kind of clicky, a little bit punchy. Hello, Taida. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well today. When I have this down at 0, it still sounds clicky. It still sounds good. In fact, if we just have this, it gets the job done, doesn't it? But if we add that back in, just that little click, it's more percussive. There's more of that chunk to it. That chunk. Instead of da-da-da-da, it's cha-cha-cha-cha. And when you add it to a layer that's already got it, it's magical. I love it. That's why I do a lot of PGA-X with my own stuff. You don't have to use PGA-X for this. You can use whatever synth you want. In this case, Takiguchi Hina, hello, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing well today. You can get that kind of sound out of Serum or whatever synth you want. This way, I'm gonna go ahead and mute PGA-X and create a sound. This is the same sound as before, but we're gonna go here, take the sustain to 0. I might play with the release a little bit though. It's almost a bit more like a bell, isn't it? And then here I might even play with the detune a little bit too. Maybe even the decay. It's less of a brass and more of a pluck, isn't it? And then you pair it with the PGA-X. It's still Eurobeat. I wouldn't call that a brass necessarily, but I like that. And then you pair it with its predecessor here. from 2 synths, we have 3 layers of thickness. Extra thick. Of course, I'm in the goth model when I say this. But yeah, I find that when it comes to getting that chunky, brassy sound for Eurobeat lead, this is the way that I go about it without the JD800. For reference, though, let's play around with the JD800. And I believe it was the Mr. Brass preset. The one that inspired the lot. And it has an exclamation point in it, doesn't it? Stack attack. Do organ. I don't want to do that. That sounds messy. Where is it? Where is it? Is it here? New Age synth wobble split. Uh-oh. I don't see it. This could be trouble, actually. Okay. This could be a problem. Okay. Mr. Brass. Okay, here it is, here it is. So, this is what it sounds like out of the box. There's an envelope on the pitch and the amp. It kind of wham, wham. It's almost like the lead from Jump by Van Halen taking too long to get there. Let's make this a little bit more like Eurobeat, eh? Want to tighten the, one thing I'll confess. I'm not a sound designer. I've tinkered enough to be able to figure out my way around. I get lost in things. So this is not, do not take my sound design advice as gospel. That's a little more like it. So why is everything like down a full octave? Let's go ahead and bring these to 0. Hello? Can we do that, please? There we go. Just that right there. The TVF envelope. Going away from that to that. Shannon, hello! How are you doing, darling? We are, well, they're allowing me to ramble. I am diving into just what I hear would bring emulating a certain Eurobeat sound up a little bit. This is literally just taking the attack on TVF down. I might also take the TVF and TVA down a little bit too. Oh, there's an echo or delay and a reverb. That's about as raw as it is. Let's go ahead and put this here. Damn. Damn. You've heard that before. That, okay. There's, it's the Dave Rogers cover of You'll Be in My Heart. It's like, where is it? Like, and then like, hello King Court, good to see you, hope you're doing well today. Yeah, this is that sound. This right here. Yeah, the little octave jump and the squeaky bit. That right there. You bring down the TVF attack, and you bring down the TVA release. In my case, I make it a little bit less squeaky. So we're gonna go to pitch fine, because you know it's fine, baby. We're gonna go ahead and bring 15 down more to like 8, 7, 5 to 2. So you have an envelope, you have that chunk at the beginning, and you have it detuned a little bit, and it's got enough release to catch the end. What I'm gonna do, okay, what I'm gonna do for demonstration is have it not detuned. Hello? Right. I am the goofiest goober, the silliest of fillies. So every one of these tones has separate TVFs, TVAs. I am not very bright. Okay, and the pitch envelope right here. So, okay, what if we bring, yeah, it's going up 30. Let's do 15. And then bring that down. This is already a -6. Let's do -2. 19. Let's put that -9. Okay. It's almost boring now, isn't it? And then putting those back. Oh, you know what it is? Okay, each of these tones also, yeah, that's the time, and then that's the actual, like, parameter. Okay. This is why I'm not a sound designer. Yeah. This is the problem. I'm so used to just diving in like, this works. Let's examine the patch that I made one time after doing, actually like diving in. Okay. I think what I did was I made the tones. Yeah, these all became a bit more unison. The pitch envelope acts about the same. The only thing that changes is the velocity. And then here's what I use. Hold on. Let's see. Give it a little bit more. I think I'm only using tone A. Am I? No. Got it. Okay. Yeah, you see how those factors, like the riff that you write, affects the notes, the way that you input the notes, and the way you input pitch dives or anything like that. Because if you have something like the way that you would do Dream of You by Alvin is very different from how you do The Race Is Over by Dave Rogers, is very different from how you would do the riff to Night of Fire, and so on. The style of riff affects the timbre you need. To some extent, yes. This is all Greek to me, sadly. No worries. This is basically just me picking up toys and telling you, ooh, and then it can do this, and then it can do that. But yeah, that's... a lot of producers got their mileage out of adapting the Mr. Brass preset on the JD800. It slices, it dices, it balances your checkbook, it walks your dog. But yeah, you get one sound that's close enough, and then you do it again. And then you do it again. And then you do it another time. As many times as you want until you get the wanted result, and then that stack gives you this. And in this case, what I love is that there's that chunk at the beginning, the length sticks with it. It's pronounced, but it's not, that chunk at the beginning doesn't just wash away all of a sudden. It's there, and it's pronounced, and it's beautiful, and it leaves quickly enough to where if you need it to kind of dive at the tail end, it can, but it's not obvious. Now let's see what happens if we turn up the release too much. Okay, let's go here. This one is the one on the release, yeah. So right now it's actually turned up pretty high. sound too bad. That's because I only have it set to go so far. But if we go even higher... Doesn't quite sound right, does it? Let's go ahead and put it back to like, I think it was 11, yeah? Yeah, yeah. So I like to adjust the release a little bit, you know, like. So I think like very early on, a lot of folks forget to adjust it, and it's just this. But a little bit, if you pay mind to that release, that little bit can make a world of difference. For me, it also affects how heavy a brass sounds, because it's sort of the balance between tight and heavy. If it's tight, then it can play whatever note you want. If it's heavy, it's got a feeling, but sometimes it kind of trails a little bit too much. Yeah. And then sometimes you want to add a layer that doesn't sound like a brass in its own right. Sometimes you want to just add a layer. Let me grab that Heisei layer that I made recently. 2024 presets, Heisei layer. So this is... I mean, it's got this, but what if I turn that down to 1? This isn't very detuned. So if I keep this in and I add it to the sort of the main brass, a little bit of release would help it. Maybe here. It gives it more body, and then you do that with some of the other layers. You introduce it. But too much of that, if you have it too finely tuned, it sounds like this. Not very inspiring, is it? To detune, it sounds like this. Oof, I can't do that too long. Right about here. This is within the purvey. This is fairly modernized. I hear a lot of this in Reiwa Eurobeat, like a lot of Reiwa into Eurobeat, modern, I should say. This kind of thing can work, and if you're working on like a trancier song or you want it to have kind of a... What am I looking for? It can inform the sound in a way. Let me leave that in. It made it wider, didn't it? Let's go ahead and fine tune it back just a little bit more, maybe 0.1. Not bad. But I like when there's a little bit of decay again. So let's do... Gosh, that envelope makes a world of difference. But yeah, I like combining those to get a thick brass sound of a bunch of different layers. My temptation is to dive into an existing project that would show how I did these things. But one, I think the loading might be an issue, especially with like tracking. And two, the one that I have in mind, I would need to ask the one that I worked with on it. 3, I'm gonna have some strawberries. 1 sec. Very good, very tasty. But yeah, this is generally how I go about it. I will also say, by the way, for as much as I'm talking about like, oh, if you're gonna do this kind of brass, it's gotta be this way, gotta be that way. I wanna make sure that I'm careful not to say it has to sound a certain way. That's just what I like in Eurobeat brass, and what I hear a lot of folks, it sounds like they're trying to emulate that, but there's considerations that are just off. And these are just some of the things that I found to tighten that, to get access to that kind of sound more quickly. Let's see. What else can we do? What else would an aspiring producer? You don't. So let's talk about bass for a little bit. I have FM8. I could go in here and boodly doodle whatever I want to do here. And then do all kinds of FM synthesis here. Or what I could do, and this works not just for FM8, but also Dext and I think a couple other FM synths. You go onto the internet and you look for DX7 system exclusives. Be careful searching for these because the file type looks like this. It looks like that. So please be careful with your searches. But you can find the actual packs and sounds that came with the Yamaha DX7. The only problem is it's very quiet. Do that, we'll go there. Oh yeah, I forgot the pitch is all weird. We'll put that to 0. Yes. And then, put it up a little bit. I didn't have to click any of that. That was just one of the system exclusives from the Yamaha. Bass 1. Again, plucky. FM, synthy, gorgeous. You don't have to use this, but if you're looking for that original Eurobeat sound, this is a way to go about it. Let's go ahead and run it with the example of The Race Is Over. Let's see. Hold on, here please. I'm gonna put these in a group real quick, and then pull the volume down a smidge. Let's go ahead and just do, that would be, okay. Just gonna make it simple on myself for now. Yeah, there we have it. Now, one thing I'm realizing, if we're being completely accurate to the original The Race Is Over by Dave Rogers, there'd be even more release. Let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and loosen those just a little bit. And then that one's fine. Yeah, there we go. So, the bass right now, it's here. It's not very loud, but it sure is there. Let's go ahead and just saturate it. We just need it to be louder, really. This is less important, the stuff that I'm doing now. This is just more like I can actually like hear it. So drums. Let's talk about drums for Eurobeat. Roland TR-909 for a lot of it, and I just use dubstep kicks. Or I used to use a lot of dubstep kicks. Still do, actually, in a lot of cases. Let's do sound content, samples and presets, drum samples, turn off favorites, and really dive in. Okay, okay, I'm gonna grab a cymatic sample, actually. Let's go ahead and actually back out of there. Oh yeah, I moved all my cymatics, didn't I? Let's see. Oh, right. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I think what I need to do, add a sound location. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna do Z compendium cymatics hub. Come on. Not this year, please. Please. Okay. Somatic sample library, select folder. And that should fill up pretty quickly, because there's a lot of samples in there. That'll take its time though. So let's go ahead and grab a different sample. Let's see, drum samples. Let's grab instead Black Octopus Sound, Wicked Drum Hits. And I'll just grab a kick. These are excessively punchy. Oh, I like that one. Okay. So I'm gonna go to the drum machine and put it in C1. Let's go ahead and just give ourselves a kick. Just do it. All the way, please. Yes, thank you. Actually, no. I'm gonna use a free dubstep kick from a pack that I got for free. Let's see. 909 selection, which you can find for free in some places. High Tech Ninja. That's definitely not free. Let's do. What did I get for free? Dubstep sample pack. Screw it. Let's go. Drum hits. Kick. Why are these paired with cymbals? I don't like any of those. Shoot. This is a bad example. Okay, where is it? I need a freebie sample pack. Those are definitely not that. I'm trying to think of a free pack. Let me see if the Cymatics ones are back. Because Cymatics does a lot of free stuff. Mystery pack, free EDM kicks. Screw it. Let's do that. Screw it. Why not? Yeah, so we'll do kick 10. It's not my favorite, but it'll be something. Not the kind that I would go for right away, but there's ways to get it to work. Actually, let me see. Oh, I like that. Okay, kick 16. So, what I like about that, it's very short. And it's got more than just the sub. Yeah, I like that. Very punchy. All right, so the next one, Roland TR-909 drum samples. I say that specifically because you can get those for free. You have heard them before. They're in Eurobeat, and they're good. They're some of my favorites. Samples and presets. Drum samples. 909 hi-hat. Let's do closed on F sharp and open on A sharp. So these are like different lengths. I like a short, tight, punchy, open hat. And right now we need to just the way that you do your own drums is up to you. The way that Bitwig's drum sampler does is not my favorite. We're gonna go ahead, turn on sustain. So it's got a lot right away, and then it still has a little bit of a tail. That's way too loud. Let's go ahead and pull that down. And let's plug those in. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab that. Oops. Listen to that. That's free drums. So far, for the drums, we have paid 0 cents. Well, unless you count the DAW. Anyway, these samples are free. They might take some adjusting. I might sweeten up the open hat a little bit, but that's the thing. Let's go ahead and grab a snare. Actually, this is back where we go to dubstep drums again. I don't know why. But it's just fun. Not every dubstep drum is gonna be great. Okay, that's not a freebie though. Let's do... I think they had a pack that was like free EDM snares. I actually feel like 6 might be the one here. I'm gonna put that on E. It's a little intense. And with dubstep drums, you want that length. You want a big, big, thick snare. With Eurobeat, it's not as pronounced. So let's go ahead and plug that in. Oof, that's a little bit too much. It's also not tuned, but... Let's go ahead and hear how that goes. Hold on. Not my favorite, but it's getting the job done. After Crash, thank you. Yeah, I was originally in my swimsuit and such, but, you know, the wheels spun and we landed on... we landed on chat, choose my avatar, and they chose Gothesy. Quick sippy. I'm gonna grab a different snare. That one's really close, actually. I get some black eyeshadow and liner done. Yes! Goth or Crash is much sought after. It's not bad, actually. Alright, so for some of the rest of the drums, let's do, not downloads, samples and presets. Drum samples, 909 again. For some reason the cymbals are in with the hi-hats. So, those will be up here, won't they? That's not right. Stabbed myself in the eye with mascara and the tears made it beautiful. Ooh! Don't you love when that happens? Like you get an accidentally amazing, just makeup look. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pitch this one up 3 semitones. Now we have, oops, I switched them. Yeah, so now we can do this. They need to last a little longer, huh? Maybe more sustain. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna just take this one, duplicate it over here, and then pitch it up 3 semitones. Still a little loud, though. And again, this isn't perfect, but this is just a way to get some drums going for free. Actually, if you get a synth like Dext or some of the other ones that'll read DX7 info, your FM bass is free. The brasses you can also make. Actually, one more thing. I just realized there's one last thing that I want to cover on the brass. There's a free synth called Synth 1. And it's got a Eurobeat pack that is also free. From Gamma Hainam. If you install it properly, you go to external Euronam. And I like to use Eurosaw Lite. So that sounds like this. So it's actually quite serviceable. Synth 1 is free and works in Windows. The pack is free, works with Synth 1. Some of the sounds are a little bit too intense for me, but I'll think of that butts. But that's a way to get it going for free or at least cheap. Now, this is starting to shape up, but there's something missing. If I mute the brass, it's a little bit more obvious. Well, obviously there's some more drums that need to happen and some other layers of fleshing out. But one thing that I'll also hear, you know, perhaps like folks that are just starting out, what they might miss is they'll just lean on the drums and the bass to get that bounce sound. And what I like to do is I'll grab, for some reason I like Silence. Let's do it in Serum, why not? No, let's do Vital. Screw it. Let's challenge myself a little bit. Let's keep it free. So what I like to do is I'll just get like a pluck. And I'll get a few voices of it. Keep it pretty tight. Maybe like that. So that's not too bad. And then I want it to be plucky, right? So I do the usual pitch trick. The same thing that we did with the brass, the same thing that we did with the other plucks. Right out 35, we're gonna put it on the pitch again. Not 48, I like closer to like 12. Maybe a little shorter. Yeah, let's do like, there. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and plug in some offbeats. They're a little hard to hear, but we'll fix that in a second. Go ahead and make the second half a little bit more triumphant. Different inversion of the same chord. Okay. Let's go ahead and give these a little bit more body. There we go. There's some things that we can do to kind of make it a little bit, kind of pop out in the mix a little bit more. I actually might keep it more tuned together, not less. Rather, less detuned, not more. You know what I might do? Let's do basic shapes. And I like that, actually. You know what? Why not? It doesn't have to be saws all the time. All right, so out of the blue, so I'm not going to be making a full tilt proper. We're leaving the accuracy of the remix of The Race Is Over behind. This is more just for the sake of demonstration. However, let's say because of that, I want to add some orchestra hits. If your synth already has one, great, use that. If you don't, Rave Generator. Rave Generator 2 specifically. They started making a new one that you gotta pay for, and that sucks. Don't do it. Find you version 1 or 2. Because what you're gonna do... Oh, by the way, because one of the sounds that they have here, if I can find it, I need to tune it. Running in the 90s. Archives, hello! Good to see you. I hope you're doing well today, darling. But that is not the sound that we want. We want Is Dead. Because it sounds like this. You can hear where I'm going with this. Sus. A little bit of release. Turn down the sus. Turn up the decay. And now you have hyper techno. But you can use that as a basic like orchestra hit. Or maybe not an orchestra hit, but for the same purpose. Okay, oh, hydrate. Yes, I will do that. Thank you. Ah, there we go. All right. So I like to do octaves. By the way, except for the brass, and if you don't use FM8 specifically, the cost to make this track in terms of samples is 0. Nothing of that, Pats. And if you do something like Synth 1 or make your own brasses out of a synth you have, you can still keep it 0 cents. Let's see. By the way, a quick note about working with orchestra hits, because a lot of people do put this in Eurobeat. In fact, a lot of folks, when they're trying to make Eurobeat, they'll lean too heavy on these. For one, timing makes a difference. Let's mute out the brass. Let's go here. Ahem. So it's not to say that these are inherently wrong. You can do it either way. I like to do this pattern a little bit more. Use it to emphasize, not necessarily to follow the one all the time. Another trick that I like to do with these is, it's tempting to give it just all that time to be heavy. But if you listen to some of the Eurobeat that a lot of people are trying to emulate, they might do something more like this. Let's see. Let's do. Remember what I was talking about earlier with the riff that you write shapes how you compose it? Let's go ahead and do that and shorten them by about this much, because now you have this. Wait, hold on, let me... I think I flubbed that a little bit. Oh. Yeah, these need to be shorter. Maybe 50. Yeah, okay, so now we have... It's close. So, in this case, what I'm failing at is there's too much release. It's not letting each note have its say, because the last one is still bleeding through by the time the next one starts. So now we have this kind of effect. There it is. There it is. And that's how you get that kind of, that's how you get a little bit more play out of Eurobeat orchestra hits. Or if you use Rave Generator's Is Dead, that's one way to go about it. So now we have our bootleg, The Race Is Over. It's not too bad, actually, you know? This is a good point to test the vibe law, the vibe theory, whatever it is you want to call it. You just kind of vibe on this. It's good. But, you know, we want to add more, don't we? I don't think I have a lot of, like, free plugins. I think the K1V is free. Let's get some strings in there, yeah? What would I use here for strings? I'm not familiar with what's on these cards. I think what I might need to do is... Yeah, we'll do... What's 6 strings sound like? Well, that's a guitar. Okay, yeah, let's get string pad going. And then I think the K1V is free. So... I get some low strings. I like to do that low octave. Hold on. Hello? Yeah, it's The Race is Over by Dave Rogers. Or rather, it's a bootleg, we have this at home, honey version of it. That's the riff that we're using, and then we're building everything else off of it, just kind of using it as a launch pad. It's gonna be really simple. Boring, but effective. What we do is we bring that down. And then maybe we start doing harmonies here. And then so now we have pads here and some strings. Now it's starting to sound more full, more complete. We can do more with this. With Eurobeat strings, this is where that rule of drama applies again. So this is not accurate to the original, so let's do... So we're almost treating it like a real string section. Almost. I feel like if Daryl Barnes heard me say that, she would barge in and be like, "You what?" So that can fill up a mix pretty quickly. So we do consider sidechaining strings against the kick. All right, so toms. We need toms. I'm trying to think of where we could find free toms. Let's take a look at the 909 again. Get out of favorites. We'll go here. Toms. Let's get a mid tom. You don't need good toms. You just need mid toms. Oh. I'll confess, I usually use a different sample. But I'm trying to think of where we could get a free tom that's pretty good. No, maybe we leave the 909 snare this time. Free dubstep sample pack. Let's see if there's a tom in here. Is that a kick? Is that a snare? I can't say Zeta without thinking of Showtime. With the K1V have drum packs built in, not the way that I'd like. Let's see, I'm trying to find free packs. Drum Hero 3 was definitely not. Let's see. I don't have a lot of stuff that I've labeled as free. House drum elements, trendsetter. Let's see. Toms. I think I'm not doing enough justice for the 909. I think we could still do it. Let's do a mid-tom. Yeah, you know what? Let's do this. Yeah, I think we can do... I think we can still get a free TR909 tom to work. I try to tune it as close to key accurate as possible. Like, that's roughly C. So this is where we get to have some fun with just descending notes. That's pretty pathetic. How would we make a better... because a lot of the toms I hear in Eurobeat are a bit more pronounced. They don't go dish, dish. Could throw some OTT on it. Oh, thank you for the hearts. Hope you're doing well today. Yeah, let's find OTT and see if that'll save it or make it worse. Chances are it'll make it worse, but you know, let's have some fun. That's violently loud. Okay, I gotta call a spade a spade. That didn't work. It did get some transient going, though. So find samples that are better than mine for toms. Let's see. Elements one-shots. Oh, that's drum. That's, instruments. Oh, wait. Free dubstep drum pack. Oh, do we have toms? No, we do not. Sounds about on Beatport. G990, okay. Korg samples. Those are samples that I made myself, but I'm trying to think about how to get y'all a solid tom. Not synth patches. I'm not using 0G today. Whoa. What's this? I forgot. Okay, that's not it. What? Logic samples? No. Work samples. I don't want to do it like this. Alright, I'll grab one of the ones that I had to pay for. I was trying to keep it as free as possible, but sometimes you gotta call a spade a spade. Find a good tom and buy it. In this case, I think I have the data drive toms. Oh, yeah. This tom sounds like the one in the beginning of Make Up Your Mind by Wayne L. Like... Right. So it's very quiet still. Yeah, very quiet, but what we can do... It's playful, but it's there. Okay, so let's go ahead and just make it thicker and louder and saturate. Yeah, let's compress it, bring it out. These are different concepts for another time. Attack all the way up. Yeah, all right. Oxford limit that. Oh, thank you for the hearts. Actually, that's turning out remarkably good. Okay, pull it down just a smidge, and this poor thing really needs some reverb, doesn't it? Hold on. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a second pattern that goes longer. And I think we can just do that pattern in reverse. It's not the best one I've ever done. Let's go ahead and... Usually you want to keep your toms somewhat tuned or somewhat managed, but if they're not completely in line with, like, the key that you're writing, then it can still exist. Now, right, we're talking about reverb. The temptation is to go here and just start dragging on a reverb, right? Nope. Do not. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use, in my case, what I like to do is I like to bring on just a lot of the existing reverb that we're already gonna use. I think Valhalla Room is free, and it's very good. Like, industry standard level good. All right, so let's go ahead and give this a lot of reverb. There we go. Let's go ahead and give it some echo as well. Delay, I should call it delay. All right. Keep it short. Keep it short. Full range. Sorry, I'm doing a couple of steps very quickly. But you want echo. Maybe more like this. Yeah, okay. And let's bring the brass back in. Okay, right now it's sounding cheap because we're not doing as many drums as we would do, like little fills, little side things, little side sticks and claps and congas and all that. But you hear it filling out anyway. You hear how each little layer is accomplishing a lot. Oh, I missed that fancy hydrate. Terribly sorry. Now, when in doubt, what do? Pinky out. Cheers, everybody. Ah, that sure is flavor. Okay, so what are we gonna do here? I like to leave the brass off for a little bit just to see if I can get excited about the rest. Back a little bit. Yeah, this is pretty good. So you hear how just with these layers, you're able to get a lot going. And by the way, I don't usually use square waves or pulses for my offbeats. I usually use saws. So it'd sound more like this. Hello? Maybe I need to start using pulses though. Hello? Yeah. We're able to get a lot of mileage out of that. Let's go ahead and add some reverb to the strings. Yeah, a little bit of space. Certainly not hurt. Yeah, let's try it this way now. This is not what I would want to do if I was to ever cover The Race Is Over, but this is starting to get good. Starting to get good. You know what? Let's flesh out the drums a little bit after all. I'm gonna go back to the 909, and we're gonna grab some claps. Clap snare and clap. I like that one. Gonna go ahead and put claps here. And let's go ahead and find the side stick, the rim shot as well. About the same. Now, the hard fast rules of these two drums are as follows. Did you get all that? The hard set rules are the following. There are no hard set rules. Just make a groove. Just fill it in as you like. And if you don't like what you got, try again with something else. Let's try something like this. And then we'll just have that pattern repeat a couple times. Let's do this. Let's do that there as well. Oops. There. Yeah. Yeah. All right, and then we'll do. That sounds nice and thick. It sounds full. You're missing your production. Yes, the VOD will be on Twitch and YouTube. And yeah, I've been going over, you know, synth brass design, if that's the sound that you want to use, how to get the FM bass that I hear in a lot of your brass, in a lot of your productions for free, basically. And some offbeats and where to get this sound. No worries, Jade. Do what you gotta do. Love having you whenever you can make it, okay? So I'm gonna do a little bit of work on the bass just to kind of get it to sound the way I'd like. Wavefolder is not free. I recommend instead going into FM8 and tinkering, but there, we give it a little teeth. In fact, let's go ahead and do a little bit of that anyway. Go to the morph, or no, yeah, let's go to easy morph, which is not in other FM synths if I'm not mistaken. So usually you'd have to hop in here and like play with these, which is a good way to add some teeth anyway. But for here, what I like to do is play with these. You hear how it's got a little R to it, you know? A little more bite. Not bad. Nice. Whoa. All right, let's go ahead and EQ a little bit too. What out here? By the way, I'm not good at EQ. Take what I say about EQ with a grain of salt. Okay. Not by much though. I might need to actually... That's not bad. There we go. Greetings, happy hardcore and more producer Avanil of Avanil. How you doing, kitten? Hope you're doing well today. I have been going over just little bits and pieces, tips and tricks of Eurobeat production. How I get my brasses, how to get certain brasses for free, how to get other sounds for free, how to compose different spots. Come on in. Yeah. Right now we're using the riff to The Race Is Over by Dave Rogers as a launch pad. So one thing that I haven't done is any side chaining, and that's okay. For now, we're just trying to throw things together. Hold on, does it pass the vibe roll? A little bit. You know what I want to add? Bells. Let's grab some free bells from Niels's K1V. I don't know what's going to be a bell or not, but let's find out. Oof. Well, I don't like that. Bow? Bells. Sorry. Well, that's weird. I like that one. Yeah. Let's go ahead and play with that. Let's create something that's got a little bit of mystery to it. And we'll kind of have it answer itself in the next bit. Here's what I have so far. You know what I might do? I might add an octave up. Oof. A little bit shrill on that high end, isn't it? There we are. It's a little bit less shrill now. With lots of echo. You know, actually, I might just keep it to this. Now, the next sound I add isn't going to be free, but you'll recognize it. Now I'm going to add elements of Dr. Love into the song. Oh, sorry, I need to find a specific sound. Story guitar, power trip. Do you recognize it yet? Sorry. All right, turn that up, and then we're just gonna add some Dr. Love style guitar sort of stabs. So what would that be? And then let's go ahead and do. Dun, 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 dun. Let's go ahead, saturate. Yeah. Let's wave fold it too. Why not? Screw it. All it does is add noise. Alright, Oxford limiter. We're just getting it to be loud at this point. Yeah. Alright, so now we have... This is passing the vibe test, by the way. And then if you bring, no worries. Take care, Vanille. Thank you so much for popping in. Now we bring back the riff and... So it's not the kind of riff I'd want for the rest of the instrumental, but you mute those out and just... Yeah. And the thing from here is, like, I would say that the most important layers are your lead, your bass, your drum, and your offbeats. The rest is up to you. You don't even have to use strings. You could use another pad. You don't have to use orchestra hits. You don't have to use guitar sounds at all. You don't have to use bells. But I'd say as long as your drums, your bass, your offbeats, and your lead, doesn't have to be brass, as long as you have these 4 squared away. As a matter of fact, here's some heresy. If you get these 3 to work right, bass, offbeats, and drums, that Eurobeat bounce. I want to talk about this. Sorry, this is just, y'all came to a lesson today. Here's what you want. Right now, the bass and the offbeats are bouncing. You want that. And if you just have the drums and the bass, that's fine. The bass is percussive enough. If you did all of this and you didn't have the offbeats, it works. It's fine because the bass itself is bouncy enough. Because it's got enough going on in the transient, like when it actually hits, to be fine. But when you get these to all work together, yes, yep, you get those, and then you add on the brass. Like, even if you're not using a brass, if you get these 3 right, the Eurobeat feeling is done. The rest is gravy. The rest is good. You could have orchestras. You could have an acoustic guitar. You could have an accordion. This is where you're going to get your Eurobeat feeling. A lot of indie or beginning producers will neglect the offbeats, and then the bass will be like, not this. It'll be like, I don't know, it just won't stand out as much. That bounce will be too dependent on the open hi-hat, and it just kind of robs it of its joy, of its bounce, of its energy. Get these 3 right. As a matter of fact, I might even fine-tune this a little bit more. A little less. Oh, thank you, Kick Attack. Honestly, Ashton was such an amazing, Ashton was so amazing to work with. Like, super patient, super sweet. Had a pretty strong idea of what she had in mind. Wasn't afraid to let me know if I was drifting off course. And just sweet the whole way through. Yeah, these 3 are where you're going to get it. Also, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save this. 2024. Race is demo. Because I think I want to open something. Once it gives me control back. Quick sippy. Oh yeah, that gallop sound is super fun. I'm gonna do one thing real quick. Which one is it? Display. I'm gonna do this and then close that. And I think I'm gonna grab... Yes. Come on. This might take a little while to open, and it might throw me off, like, tracking-wise. But I think it's gonna be worth it. Because I want to show you some of what I did on a certain recent... Oh, yep, there goes the tracking. That's not too bad. Okay. I think I might have it mostly back, too. Okay. Once it's ready... It's gonna take a little while to load in. But I do want to show you how I did a couple things recently. Ooh-wee. Yeah, it's taking a minute. Come on. Oh, reflex is destroying my upper range. Sorry. Almost done, almost done. As a matter of fact, I'll spoil a little bit of the surprise. Here. So this is a finished project. And it looks like it's basically done loading. Okay. So, let's zoom in a little bit. Drums, bass, music box, yeah, I use a lot of different stuff here. Here we go. Wait, what's still loading? Ah, okay. That makes sense. Woo! Maybe not. Okay, computer's kind of throwing a fit. I don't think it can run this project right now. Sorry. Yeah, that was crispity crunchity. What the heckity. All right, what can I show you instead? Hello? Is that gonna close properly? Okay. Oh, why don't I show you Miss RGB? Or the Miss RGB remix. I think that'll be a good bit easier. Sorry about that, by the way. All that waiting for something that ended up not working. Yeah, this one's loading a little bit faster. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Thank you. Okay. So with the upcoming remix of Miss RGB, I want to do something a little bit different. Oh, thank you for that, Pats. Coming up on time, aren't I? Okay, still taking a bit, but yeah, at least I can show it. Okay, we need this and this back. Hey! Hey now, come on. Gregor Waffles, hello, good to see you. I hope you're doing well today. Alright, last thing is the Tom sampler, that seems fine. So let's dive into what I'm doing in the Miss RGB remix. Dealing with the loop. It's struggling a little bit. Let me close a few tabs. Yeah, let me give it some space to do what it needs to do. I've got too much stuff open. Right, I gotta do that after stream. Alright, so from here. There's no way to up the buffer. Here. Go to settings, audio. It doesn't actually let me do anything here. It won't let me drag it up or down. The block size is just chunked. It's this or nothing. Yeah, it's one of the things I don't like about Bitwig. So what I'm doing here, so the bass is leading most of it because the original was also very bass heavy. So right now with the bass, I've got a lot of sub bass brought in, like sub and even just regular bass. Soothe, because there were some weird points where it would get really intense for some notes, but not others. Turned off the wave folder. Threw some OTT on it. Decided to EQ around it. Take out the 500s. And then I'm only having the brasses come in here, and they're even then they're kind of different from my usual. They're a little bit more detuned, they're a little bit crisper, a little bit more on the highs, and they're out a little bit quicker. I think this one's just this one's a bit more conventional, and then this one's a JD. But these are also out a little shorter, so with this layer kind of being dominant, this gives it that more modern kind of feeling compared to a lot of, you know, to a lot of like trying to sound more like 90s, thousands Eurobeat. This is going in the background at all times with some kind of note, just keeping to the root note, basically. Oh yeah, the vocoder. Whew, this machine was not made for VTubing and music at the same time. But yeah, because I don't really have much that isn't client work that I can work on stream today, I just wanted to kind of dive into various concepts and ideas and have a VOD that's useful for aspiring Eurobeat producers. I think that's all I really have for now. And it is about the 3-hour mark. So what I'll do is I think I'll take about 10, 15 minutes, answer questions, field comments, remarks, redemptions, and then we'll find someone to raid. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here, do that, close out. I don't wanna do any changes to what I have there for now. And yeah, what's on your minds? What's on your hearts? Questions, comments, remarks, redemptions. Crap. My own instrumentals. Let's do shuffle all. There we go. There we are. Hi. Yeah. So let me get this keyboard off my lap. Did I do that fancy hydrate earlier, Fia? I'm so sorry. Speaking of hydrate. Well, I was sipping a bottle. That's not what I'm doing with my hand. How are y'all doing, by the way? Thank you for bearing with me as I basically rambled about Eurobeat for a bit. Vine Sauce is playing with Giga, Lime Malicious, and Matara Khan. Wait, what? Wow, that's cool. Akami Karubi, Cinder, Numi. That's Matara, Project Melody, Alpharad, Bao, Athelston, Sneaky, Yui, Barry, Pumpkin Potion, LXOX, Mila Noir. We did raid Alvinil pretty recently. Let's see. Who haven't we raided in a bit? Sorry. I always overthink this one. We did raid Robin Sashiko somewhat recently. I think. I might be wrong. Let's see. Oh, my mouse wasn't moving up. False ID, he did bring up the song he made for Ashton. I don't know. I feel like False is gonna be just fine in the viewer department for now. I think if I wanted to, I don't Blow me, I'm not sure how I feel about raiding into false right now. Let's see. When was the last time we raided Matara? I usually try to raid smaller streamers. But also mom. All right, there is. Screen, Noble, Sushi. I'm gonna do a double check just to make sure that I don't miss a pretty cool opportunity to raid someone for whom 42 viewers would be a big boost. Sora is playing Voices of the Void. Let's just raid all vanilla after all. All right, friends. What's on your minds? What's on your hearts? Also, tomorrow and future streams should be back to better lighting and things like that. Like today, I reduced some of the things that I'm using to ease the machine a little bit, and even then, a lot of stuff still played funky. I didn't have any of my cheese sticks. That's why I'm a little hungry. Ah. All right. I suppose there's not too much else going on. All right, friends. Tomorrow, I think we have Minecraft. And then the day after that, we got Pata Pata. And then on Friday, we have my birthday celebration. So that'll be really awesome. I don't think y'all are ready for what we have for that. For the music that I'll be playing, for the games that we'll be playing together, for some of the guests that are lined up. It's going to be amazing. You know, there is one other thing. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a smaller scale announcement here on Twitch. Instead of posting it to Twitter right away. Interesting music beat to be doing this to. But I have the hotel arrangements largely squared away. Today I bought the flight, and sometime prior I bought the tickets. I will see some of y'all at TwitchCon this year. Yay! Yeah, I finally can properly say that I will be attending TwitchCon San Diego this year. I'm so excited. The last couple times that I've gone to TwitchCon have been so freaking good. Will I be seeing any of you there? Is the thing. I wonder if there might be value in setting up like a little Audi meet. I need to choose a different word for that. Clearly, my brain is melting. But yeah, maybe a little spot to just catch up with people. Office hours almost. But yeah, no, that'll be cool. Yeah, just wanted to confirm that. And on that note, Pixie, thank you so much for that. We are going to raid the kitty bat herself, Avanil, who is streaming right now. All right, friends. Let's get the raid going. I will see you all tomorrow. All right. Bye-bye for now. It's got A to C. Bye-bye. Mwah. Bye. Ooh, what a banger song to go out on. All right. You know what to do. This is the raid message. If you do not have that emote, any heart will do the trick. Let's get it. Bye-bye. Let's get A to C. Bye-bye. Mwah. Mwah. Mwah.